Hi, today I will be discussing on the functions of stock exchanges. As I told, stock exchange is a place where buying and selling of securities are happen. A stock exchange has an important role to fulfill in the economic development of a country. It is essential for the smooth functioning of the private sector or corporate economy. Because in the process of the capital formation and in raising resources for the corporate sector, the stock exchange performs four essential functions. Number one, the stock exchange provides a marketplace for purchase and sale of securities such as shares, bonds, debentures, etc. Investors who are desirous of buying securities would be able to buy securities in the primary market only occasionally at the time of issue of such securities by the company, whereas they would be able to buy the securities in stock exchange at any time as trading in stock exchange is continuous. Similarly, holders of securities who are desirous of selling the securities would be able to sell them only in the stock exchanges as the issuing companies do not ordinarily buy back the shares. Thus, stock exchanges provide the facility for continuous trading in the securities. Secondly, stock exchanges provide liquidity to the investment in securities. That is, it gives the investor a place to liquidate their holdings. This is essentially the basis of the joint stock enterprise system. Investors who not be interested to invest in corporate securities without assurance provided by the stock exchange to the owner of the corporate securities that these securities can be sold in the stock exchange at any time. Third important function of the stock exchange, it helps in the valuation of securities by providing the market quotations of the prices of the securities. The market quotations represents the collective judgment on the value of the securities arrived at simultaneously by many sellers and buyers in the market. The value of shares is influenced by macroeconomic factors as well as microeconomic factors, long-term economic trends as well as short-term fluctuations in the economic variables. So speculative forces in the securities market also influence the share valuations. Market quotations of the share price provide valuable information to prospective investors as well as shareholders regarding the value of the shares which are traded in the stock exchange. Fourthly, stock exchange play the role of a barometer. That is why it is considered as an indicator of the state of health of the nation's economy as a whole. The shares of a large number of companies are listed for trading in the important stock exchanges of the country. The market quotations of individual shares represent their current valuation. So the trend of the price movements in the market is indicated by calculating stock market indices, which represents the weighted average of prices of selected shares representing all the important industries. So these stock market indices are used to represent the market as a whole. Their movements and levels are indicative of the economic health of the nation to a great extent, because movements of the prices of shares are influenced by macroeconomic factors such as growth of the GDP, financial and monetary policies, changes in the tax, political environment, etc. The stock exchanges provide the linkage between the savings in the household sector and the investments in the corporate sector. So they indirectly help in mobilizing the savings and channelizing them into the corporate sector as securities. These are the major functions of the stock exchange. You can take any stock exchange. Definitely, these four important functions can be applicable on any kind of stock exchange, especially dealing with the secondary market, whether it may be a commodity, whether it may be a currency market, or whether it may be a securities market, right? So we'll be continuing in the next presentations. Thank you.